Oh, now it's working. Okay, now we're good. All right, let's get this show on the road. So week 18, we've got one more game to determine seeding in the NFC and a playoff spot in the AFC. So Carolina's gotten a little bit of help from their friends. The Bears and the Eagles lost. Let me double check the tiebreakers involving Carolina moving up to 2. They would be at least third with a win. Hold on, that's the wrong one because they played the Eagles this year. Echo. Oh boy, wait. There we go. Okay, so Carolina did win that game. That's what I thought. So Carolina will be 4 if they lose, but if they win, they will climb all the way up to 2. If they fall at 2, they would play the Giants. If they stay at 4, they would play Dallas. And obviously the Eagles and Bears would move accordingly. As for the Raiders, it's pretty simple. Winning in, losing out. The team who would take the Raiders' spot at 7th would be Toronto. So the Huskies are patiently awaiting to see if they will slide into the playoffs or if their win against the Jets will be all for naught. What is going on, MMGK and Nick? How are we doing, gentlemen? Along with going through the final game today, we're going to touch on stats and awards and whatnot. So, let's not waste much more time. Let's get started. Number generator lands on 1. That is the Raiders. Still can't believe we scored 3 and allowed 14, and then whatever the hell that game was. That was wild. That was without a doubt the most exciting game of the year. Unless I'm forgetting one. But that was something else. Would I rather play the Raiders or the Huskies in the first round? Dilemmas, because this game directly affects the Chargers. If the Raiders win, they'll play us. If not, it would be the Huskies who play us. I don't know who I would rather play. Who would I rather beat, Spolk or Hector? Because both of those would be very rewarding. All black. Okay, well that kind of limits our choice. It's that one, right? Yep. That means for the Raiders, we kind of have to wear white. We can't really do black on black. So there we go. The final game of the regular season in year number 2. And it looks... Well, I was going to say it's raining. It's not raining, but it's overcast. Nonetheless, the Panthers can move to 2 with a win. The Raiders can lock up a playoff spot with a win. Was Carolina second last year? Or were they third? I think they were second. So I guess, yeah, because they lost to the Cardinals in the first round. So I guess being 2 hasn't done Carolina well in the past. But hey, maybe second time's the charm. I don't know. The Raiders, meanwhile, as we know, won 1 game last year. This would be quite the turnaround from being tied for the worst to now getting a playoff spot. I'd have a dog in the fight if the defense could get one stop. Well, here's the problem. Greg Dortch owns your franchise, buddy. Hate to break it. The Raiders are going to start with the ball. Good kick return. Carolina allowed one last week against the Chargers. Didn't stop them from winning, but is this special teams an issue? I don't know. I'm very curious to see the Raiders and watch. We haven't seen Jordan Love, but this should be interesting. Greg Dortch not seeing the pearly gates. Please respect Greg Dortch, our Lord and Savior. Dortch the torch. On first down, Love looking deep early. Nothing to go in there. Jordan Love, the Raiders quarterback. What? Is that supposed to say what or wah? As in, like, boo-hoo. I'm scared. It's Jordan Love. Evades the pressure. Broken tackle. What a play after the catch. That should have been like a gain of 5. Instead, it's 21 for Percy Manning, the rookie. Cocky put up a masterclass just to have it slip away because Kyle Pitts can't get 2 feet in bounds. To be fair, the throw was overthrown a tad. It was a good throw, but I think it was more on Cocky than Pitts. The ball, from what I remember, was going to be out of bounds. Both. Okay, fair enough. Here's another nice play. That's Percy Manning again. Good start for Percy. Gonna have the awards done tonight, so I beg you show stats, especially the rookies. Well, do I have good news for you? We're probably gonna go through every team, so that way you can look at like the Rookie of the Year leaderboard and then bounce from team to team and figure out which players were the best. Kyle Pitts could have dragged his toes. It would have been a very hard play. Maybe it would have been physically possible. I'm not really sure, but it would have been a very tough play. There's CeeDee Lamb, tells the defense the CeeDee's nuts. What's the quarterback situation for the Cardinals? I don't know, you're the coach. That seems like something you should know the answer to. There's Percy Manning again, I think, for the touchdown. What a drive for the rookie tight end with 3 big catches, and the Raiders march down the field and strike first. I will only be putting my players on the polls. Armando Alexander, get ready to win Rookie of the Year, buddy. I mean, to be fair, you probably do have enough qualified rookies on both sides of the ball. Could have helped if we didn't mismanage the clock to end both halves. That's a good point, but it also would have helped if Nick Chubb didn't fumble the goddamn ball. But here's the problem. He did. So now we get our first look at the Carolina offense. Josh Allen was not missing throws against a really good Chargers secondary last week. So now knowing Madden against the worst defense, he's probably going to go like 10 for 20. But, oh well. Perry the Platypus, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Perry the Platypus and Sam Laporta might be the greatest tight end room ever. Aura and Aura. All in one. Here's Breece Hall. Gets a hold 2. Would have helped if Cocky didn't throw the dump off to him to take him out of the zone. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't have a good comeback. You're not wrong. But he still fumbled the ball. Here's a good play. Nice catch for Isaiah Thomas, the user player who I think scored twice in the win over the Chargers. Who needs Flowers and Chambers when you have Love and Manning? Will Levis and Darnell Washington walked so they could run. Darnell Washington last year in the playoffs was a demon. Josh Allen misfires. Why couldn't he have done that last week? Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate, hopefully. Who's going to tell him? I mean, if he gets 300 yards and 5 touchdowns today, then he'll probably be on the ballot. Good throw. Wide open to the 37 is Darnell Mooney. Cocky would have made that throw. You mean the somewhat intermediate throw within 10 yards? I don't know about that one, partner. If it was 50 yards, then yeah, he's launching a bullet. But if it's within 10, I don't know. Bad news. Offensive Rookie of the Year is what? Alpo, the Falcons receiver, somebody else. So, Jaleel Jefferson on the Steelers is amongst the league leaders. And what was that? Jaleel Jefferson on the Steelers, the receiver. Sasquatch Knut, the Lions receiver. Is Raphael Coleman on the Giants, like, with those guys numbers-wise? I think he's a little bit behind them. Isaiah Thomas probably is in that next tier. What a dot for Devontae Adams for the touchdown. He's not playing good right now. I'll take takes that aged horribly for 1,000, Alex, please. That was an awesome throw. Are there any tight ends who could be worth Rookie of the Year? I mean, Percy Manning's looking like one here. How many do we want for the Rookie Awards? Usually I do 3, unless there are more guys who deserve it. So I would say at least 3, but if you feel like more belong, then that works. Like, for Offensive Rookie of the Year, there probably are going to be more like 5 guys who probably should be on the list. It's going to be kind of like the Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson argument with Alpo versus the receivers. Because you have a great quarterback, but you've also got these great receivers, and it's like, does positional value matter enough to sway the vote? Or maybe Alpo's just too good. Rookie Alpo's probably better than rookie Justin Herbert. So I'm curious to see how that vote goes. Here's a nice run on second down. J.K. Dobbins. Can't forget about the new Disappointment and Surprise Award. That's right, I forgot about that. I guess it's a really good thing we're looking at every team now. Alpo is too good. The same guy who sold against the Cowboys? Wink, wink. Percy Manning is a dog. Is this Kansas City's playbook? Hold on. Because that would answer a lot of questions. And that means if we do play the Raiders in the first round, that means I have some game planning. Jesse Bates, get ready to learn man coverage against the tight end, buddy. Do not put my Prince on the disappointment list? I don't know, man. Considering the expectations. I'm just saying. Miles Jack with the sack. Second and 20. Jordan Love is 9 for 11. He has been exploding in this first quarter. I'm sorry, that was bad. You saw the offensive play calling. Yeah, but like, what about the 14 sim games where he was mid? If you're that good, you should be expected to be better. Carolina with the stop. Raiders are going to kick. 53-yarder, not a gimme. Looks good. And it is. The Raiders lead 10-7. You had the biggest expectations after everyone picked the Seahawks to make the playoffs. To be fair, I will say, they did win one game last year. But they also should have been better. They were also only a game out, though. But they were also in a poverty conference. If they were in the AFC, they would have been like 3 games out. So there's a difference. There's levels to this. Look at these lawn kickers making field goals. That's not for everybody, Mr. Boswell. Up the middle, Davante Adams again. I don't remember making like big changes to the sliders, but we've had a lot of offense. The game with the Jets and the Huskies was wild. So far here, we've had no shortage of offense. Brees isn't having a good game. Can we play the Chargers again? How come the Raiders' run defense, which isn't like all that crazy, is stopping him, yet every time he got the ball against us and our amazing front seven, he had at least 5 yards, pretty much guaranteed, every time he touched the ball. Niles Walsman effect. Joey Bosa is better than Niles Walsman, though. That's the thing. Joey Bosa is a sleeper defensive player of the year candidate. Just saying. I know a couple people thought I was wild giving him that contract, but here we are. Raiders get it back. They get a stop. Niles Walsman was created by me. I'm taking his side. Joey Bosa is a Buckeye, though. What about that? Doink! Should have been picked. I was right in your hands, Christian. Catch the ball. CeeDee Lamb gets the ball jarred out. Good hit. Niles is a Wolverine. See? Exactly. You're picking the Michigan player over the Buckeye? Who is that to? Who else makes the disappointment list? That's a good question. Mac Jones. He went from an OFL Bowl champion to being benched. And the benching proved to be the best thing that could have ever happened to that team. The Steelers are certainly a disappointment, although to be fair, their rosters did change a lot with the rookie quarterback, but they also probably should have won more than 5 games. I don't think they ever should have let go of Will Levis. I think that was their problem. I don't really get the thought process there. Will Levis was balling in the playoffs. Bulls and weird. The Bulls are weird. There's a lot of weird teams. Just because I created you doesn't mean you're exempted from Michigan hate. Watching Breece Hall get nothing is making me sick inside. If this is how the run defense played last week, we would be the #1 seed. Actually, that's a lie. No, we wouldn't. We'd still be 2. But still. Bengals should win the disappointment award. On one hand, yes, because their roster, in terms of rating, is one of the best in the game. Look at Taysom! On the other hand, though, the Bengals weren't very good last year. And we didn't really expect them to be all that. Do I think Justin Field and Russell Winston, my 2 favorite players on the Steelers, will lead them to a disaster? If a disaster is 9-8, a 7th seed, and a 20-point loss in the wild card round, then sure. I don't know what's up with Breece this week. I do. He's not playing the Chargers. The Bengals have an 89 overall roster and went a monstrous 7-10. They were worse than that last year, though. My God, Devontae. The Bengals also played in a good division. The Browns won 14 games. The Ravens are really good. The Steelers also disappointed, but they also made the AFC Championship. And obviously the AFC as a whole is pretty darn good. There's maybe 2 or 3 really bad teams, and everybody else is competitive. Could the Cardinals make that list? I guess so. I think it was kind of obvious the Cardinals' run was fluky, but they did go from a playoff spot to a top 5 pick. That is a pretty big drop-off. But I don't think expectations were very high for them. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. So it might just be that they made a fluke run. Everybody kind of knew it was a fluke. It was still impressive. Russell Wilson leading a Pokemon team to a conference championship. He can't get out of the second round with Nick. What does that tell you? I'm going to have to pay Devontae Adams his damn money. He had a couple games like this last year when he was with the Bengals where he was like the best player on the field. And he's kind of doing that again here. Incomplete. Good stop. Eric Stokes. So the Raiders' offense is slowing down. Jordan Love is definitely colder than he was to start. Pokemon and you have had the same amount of points in OFL Bowls since the start of OFL 22. That's hilarious. I'm dying. Inside. Why couldn't Josh Allen have done that last week? That wasn't even at the fault of our defense. Josh Allen just was making every throw in the book. But he's not doing that now. I sound like one of those Laker fans who think like every star player is like out to get them. That's like the funniest bit. Where like a player's out for 5 games, he plays against the Lakers, and then he's out again. I don't know why that's so funny. Me with Justin Herbert yesterday. Good throw. Fumble! I think he was down. That was close. I could see a world where he's not. Ooh, Ragnow's hurt. No! Not Frank! No! Okay, he's fine. Frank Ragnow looks nice in that black jersey. Wink, wink. Okay, yeah, that wasn't a fumble. I didn't think so. It did look like a big hit animation, but it also kind of looked like he was down. Yeah, that's not a fumble. Can Allen slide? No, he wants to use his 240 pounds to bully dudes. Pokemon has more playoff wins than me since 22. Yikes. How do we feel about the new Texans helmets? I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan. I know everybody loves them. I think the logo is, like, cool. But I don't know. I'm just not that big of a fan. Maybe it'll grow on me, but I don't know. I just think for a helmet, it doesn't look good. But, like, I think it's cool for, like, an alternate logo. But for a helmet, I don't know. I feel like it's just missing something. Justin Herbert threw 5 picks with Todd just to make trick shot passes with Hector. Were they really trick shot passes, or were they just nice throws? Here's Breece Hall. Somebody take Breece out of the game. That looks like not a good idea. He nearly got the first down. 4th and 1 at the 38. I think the choice is clear. I think they're going to kick it. That's stupid. I think that's stupid. You have Josh Allen. He's 240 pounds. Tush push him right up the middle now. And he missed it anyway. I think the stupid thing about that call is you have a better chance of getting 1 yard than making a 55-yard kick. And the end result of getting 1 yard, keeping the drive going, is better than the end result of making the kick, scoring 3 points, and giving the ball back. So it's like bigger risk, less reward to kick. The blue goes hard. They have some great unis that could pair with it. I am excited to see like what they do, because I know they want to bring in like a baby blue. I feel like they could make that look cool. I want to see what the helmets look like with the uniforms before I make a real judgment. But just looking at the helmet itself, I don't know. I'm just not as high on it as everybody else. I do like all the other uniform changes around the league. I like what Cleveland did, making their face mask white. Obviously the Jets. Obviously us. And what was the other one? Jacksonville. They brought back their throwbacks as an alternate. I dig that. I like the idea of it with the all red. I would be intrigued. Third and 10. Jordan Love up the middle. Gets the first. They got to call time. Okay, they do. Aren't the Broncos supposed to get new uniforms too? I feel like Denver could do something really cool. I've seen some really nice like mock-up designs. I know Seattle and the Titans were also like rumored to be getting new ones. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it sounds like from what I know, Denver is. All right, the Raiders are going to kick. So they'll bring you within one. Jacksonville bring back the old unis makes me want to do the Jags next. With all these like great new uniform combos, there's like a bunch of teams that I would want to pick. But on the flip side, I've been waiting to do the Lions, and I knew this uniform change was going to happen for at least a year. I figured as long as they're not like extremely ugly, I'm probably going to want to pick them. They're not extremely ugly, thank God. I feel like this almost has to be the year. I've considered it like each year, and it hasn't happened. I have to do it at some point. Most coaches, or at least most people who have been here multiple years, have done their favorite team at least once. So I feel like I have to, at some point. All we had to do was go for it on 4th and 1. But instead, you had to give the Raiders better field position on top of the fact that that was just a bad call in itself. Bears! I thought they got rid of Bears. I thought they took it out. Huh. Okay, maybe not. Bears. All right, so Carolina will get the ball to start the third. They're up by 1. They should be up by more, if not for that bad play call. Hopefully I'm able to do the Bears-Lions rivalry? I'm intrigued. Fumble! I think that ball was out, but it's out of bounds anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I thought Bears stayed as long as every other game was simulated. I thought they took it out this year. I thought that was a thing. I mean, I guess not, clearly. Good run by Brees. He's looking better. Or more so, I feel like the blocking was the bigger issue. Although he wasn't making guys miss and he wasn't breaking the first tackle. But the blocking also was not very good. That was on him. He had a wide open hole. I'm trying to gas him up and then he does that. The tackle and the guard give him plenty of space. Use it. Wide open is Davante Adams. He gets leveled. But he also gets the first down. Now at the 38, back to Brees. Now he's got room. And he's able to fight for yards. This is not the same Brees we saw in the first quarter. Josh and Davante is so tough together. Imagine if they were on the same team in real life. Davante Adams on the Bills would honestly be kind of sick. Like, I get the Raiders probably can't because of, like, money and stuff. But that would low-key save the Bills. Not that they're, like, in desperation mode, per se. Good play. I think that's Marte Mapu. That ball has a little more air on it. I think Davante's down with that. I would not find that very sick. Fair enough. Allen is sacked. Is that Milton Williams? I don't know what other M. Williams there is, so I'm going to assume. And now they'll have to kick. That was nearly blocked. That was close. They almost missed another. But Younghoe Koo splits the uprights. And it's 17-13. You put Devontae with the current young Packers receiving core they have. How about you be quiet? Green Bay doesn't need a receiver. They have like 4. They're doing fine just as is. We don't need to help them. They already have double luck on their side anyway. Two for JK, now 3rd and 8. And he throws it away. So Carolina gets the stop. He's only completed 50% of his passes. He's had some good throws, but he's also missed some. We've really gotten the full Jordan Love experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So now Carolina can make it a 2-score game. We'll see if they can really try to close the door a little bit for the Raiders' playoff chances. The Huskies needed a whole lot to happen to get in, and now they really have the pathway. You're welcome, Toronto, for helping you, by the way. You can repay us by not beating us. How many punt returns have we seen in the OFL? Probably not many. We've obviously had our fair share of kick returns, especially this cycle. We've had at least 3 or 4, including 2 weeks in a row. But I don't think we've had many punt return scores. There's IT Thomas to the 17. Devontae's in the zone as well. As if he needed another reason to pop off. He gets it at the 10. Raiders got to hold him out of the end zone. If they can keep it a 1-score game, this drive would be a win. Keep passing to him. That seems like a good strategy. I feel like they should probably do that too. Okay, that's not Devontae. That's, I think, Isaiah Thomas. There were 3 guys who were, like, right in front of him. Did we think that play was going to result to anything? 3rd and 7. On the run. What a throw for Kate Otten. And the excuse me. The Panthers add to their lead. Speaking is hard, okay? But that was a sick throw. Evading pressure through the middle of the line with a dime right on time. Okay, I'll stop. Getting cooked by Kate Otten. That wasn't really a Kate Otten thing. I think that was just Josh Allen. Yeah, Otten made a nice play to get open on the right side, but hand him the MVP again. I mean, he's played really well in 2 watch games in a row. Hector Devil Luck lucking into another playoff berth. Hector in the first round versus Octi as the 2 seed. Coughing Baby meets Defunct Bomb. That will surely end well. Somebody has to win. Is anybody going to? Jordan Love is sacked by Aaron Donald. The Raiders really look good through the first quarter, and since then, they have fallen off fast. Wow, how late am I? Well, by definition, you're probably about 40 minutes late. But we're happy to have you here nonetheless. There's CeeDee Lamb. Again, telling the defense to CeeDee's nuts. Raiders needed that one bad. That's a big conversion. Gives them a little bit of life. Was he trying to throw it to the defender? The defender should have made the play on the ball. Instead, he was just so focused on tackling the receiver. Jordan Love going downfield. Nope. He was strapped. What was Jordan Love thinking there? Does he think he's on the Panthers? 3rd and 10. Love throws it away. Another stop for Carolina. What is going on, Mr. Jaw? How are we doing? So Carolina scores again here. A touchdown can make it a 3-score game. And to think, not that long ago, the Raiders were winning. John Javitas, I don't know what that is, but hello, Mr. Leonard. Is Devontae still in the zone? I guess we can't really tell. He's on the bottom. If the Panthers win, they would be the 2 seed. If they lose, they'd be 4. So the result of this game directly affects all 3 of the NFC wildcard matchups. While, of course, the Raiders are winning in, losing out. That'll wrap up the 3rd. The Panthers are 1 quarter away from getting the 2 seed for a 2nd straight year, and the Raiders look to keep their season on the line, but they're down by 11. Gonzo, Cam, Smith, Stokes. That's a fun little group. Especially my glorious Pookie Bear King, Christian Gonzalez. Oh boy, that's not good. Did number 2 just try to kick him? Well, Devontae Adams is hurt. Looks like he'll be fine. That was Darius Slay, too. Devontae's been probably the best player on the field, so that is kind of the big deal. Now they have to throw the ball to Isaiah Thomas. Dear Lord. Maybe this year they won't be humiliated by the 7th seed. Maybe. I mean, every year it's an annual tradition that a 2 seed loses, so us in Carolina better be buckled up. Look at Josh Allen on the run to the 44. Look at him go. Now Zero's trying to push him. The Raiders don't seem too happy. Isaiah Thomas with a nice snag. Nearly picked. That was Zero again. Is that the rookie Ward Lovelace, or is he a different number? 0 on him would be Aura, though. Slide. Just slide. It's not real life. Oh, he's going to run again. No sliding for Josh Allen. I saw the injury timeout. I was concerned for him for a second. It is a big injury, though. Micah Fitzpatrick. He goes to the locker room. That's not good for the Raiders. Their best defensive player. Are my playoff chances looking nice? Yes, they are. They are looking real nice. Isaiah Thomas has it to the 5. First and goal. Josh Allen goes empty. He's got the rookie. Isaiah Thomas with the touchdown, and it's a 3-score game. Domination over the last 2 quarters by the Carolina Panthers, who are up 31-13. I want the lines. The lines look cool. Okay, I guess we're not getting the lines. And that'll do it. Carolina locks up the 2 seed. They'll play the Giants in the first round. The Eagles move down to 3. They'll play the Caps. The Bears move down to 4. They'll play the Cowboys. And the Raiders are out, which slides the Toronto Huskies into the playoffs. They'll meet the Los Angeles Chargers in the first round. Josh Allen was pretty good. Pretty good. I don't feel as bad about losing last week now. Jordan Love missed a lot of throws. Had some good ones, though. Breece Hall was inconsistent. Good moments and bad moments. The Raiders didn't even try to run the ball. Percy Manning and Devontae Adams were both phenomenal. Kate Otten and Isaiah Thomas each played well, too. CeeDee Lamb also had a nice game. 2 sacks for Aaron Donald. And all right, the regular season is in the books. If Hector beats Octi, that would be amazing. Amazing. Hold on. Okay, I'm good. Amazing for who? Other than Hector, obviously. So we pretty much already know where everything's going to line up. There aren't any, weird tiebreakers, what's going to happen here? Because the Huskies are the only team here with 9 wins. They would get the spot. So, yeah, not really much suspense. Let's simulate. And let's see if what we all suspected is correct. Hector Devil Magic strikes again. It expires in playoffs, though. Yeah. Yeah, this is what we expected. All right. Here's our bracket. Got some interesting games here. I feel like every game has an argument to be watched. These polls are going to be interesting. Of course, we know the Browns and the Niners have the 1 seeds. How are the Caps in the playoff? The Caps have 10 wins. No, they have 9, but still, you know what? They're a good team. Respect the Caps. They have lost 3 in a row, though. And then in terms of draft order, not accounting for trades, here we are. Only 14 teams finished over 500, and they all made the playoffs. So everybody who deserved to get in, got in. This has to be a first where no over 500 teams missed the playoffs. There's no way that's happened before. The odds of everything being perfect, I feel are really slim. All right, let's take a look at some stats and awards, and then we will wrap things up. We'll start with the league-wide stats. Alpo, first in terms of passing yards. Touchdowns is Joe Burrow. Picks is Jaime Calhoun by a landslide, 26. And then the least amount of picks for a starter is Josh Allen. Passer rating, Sam Howell is first. Kyler Murray was that high? Damn. Rushing title, of course, Sean Tucker by over 100 yards. Touchdowns was Sean Tucker also by a lot. He's pretty good. Receiving. In terms of 100 catches, we have Raphael Coleman, Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman, and Quentin Johnston. And the yards leader is CeeDee Lamb with 2 rookies in 2nd, 3rd, and 6th. And Jaleel Jefferson's not that far behind either. There's another 1,000-yard receiver, KJ Haynes, and Percy Manning. What an all-time receiver class. My goodness. And Hollywood Hargrove's not that far behind either. And Bill Gundy. And Isaiah Thomas. Holy moly. And Jesus Watkins. Touchdown leader was Quentin Johnston with 16. Sacks, Joseph Noteboom on offense. And then defense. Myles Garrett, 23.5. Easily leads the AFC. Conan Meals at 13.5? Jesus. How did he fall to the second round, guys? What were we thinking? NFC leader is Aiden Hutchinson. Nobody plays defense in the NFC, apparently. Best wide receiver in class in OFL history? It has to be. Kicking. I know we did not have any perfect kickers because Evan McPherson missed an extra point. Who's the worst kicker? Tristan Vizcaino. Most punts, Donnie Watkins. Least punts, Jake Camarda. And then we did have a number of kick return touchdowns from Cedric Compton, Rupert Roy, and Xavier Gibson. All three of which were watched, right? Yeah, I think they were. And then we had 4 punt returns. Chris Boswell, 73%. Maybe legacy picks aren't always the ways to go. Josh Jacob fumbles. 0. Interesting. I am observing. Mike Evans, 2 touchdowns. Shame is out the window. Chubb, higher yards and touchdowns. Why are we using yards and touchdowns as important stats over yards per carry? Volume should not matter. Or it should matter very little. We're in the big 2024 and we're using rushing touchdowns in our argument. Seek Christ. Why are rushing yards not important for... No, they are important, but when you're comparing volume, I feel like it's an unfair comparison. Because yards can be taken out of context. What is the Bears playbook? I think I want to say he's running Carolina. I could be wrong. Whoa, the Blues threw for 5,400 yards. Tell Jacobs to carry the ball more. It does not work like that, partner. It is a little bit weird, though, because normally you run the ball at the end of the game when you're winning, and the Dildos probably had that more than the Jets. So, yeah. Also, free Jameis, by the way, he balled out in those, 6 games that he played. He was nasty. Karl Malone, 13 sacks. Interesting. Who would have thought his favorite number? Wow, what a year for Clowney. And that contract at the time looked bad. Maybe not. Tyler Scott over 1,000 yards. Myles Garrett was obviously very good. Ojabo stinks. You're welcome, by the way. I will say, though, I anticipated him being a lot better, even when I did trade him. Nice year for Bobby Wagner. The old man still got something left in the tank. Let's compare Lamar's stats with Norris' stats for no specific reason. None at all. Arizona's offensive line was pretty good. All things considered. Oh, that's why they were bad. Yikes. And obviously, this doesn't help. Chargers, bolt up. How many rushing yards as a team is this? Because Hurts had 700 almost. $13.5 at 13. Love to see it. Tre'Davious White, 6 picks. DaRon Bland with 5. Future Jets linebacker Bobby Wagner. What happens if he retires? Because he's kind of old. How many sacks did this team have? Like 4? That's what it feels like. Jesus. Poor DeForest Buckner. He probably got quadruple teamed every play. No wonder he only got 5.5. Shakir was 3rd? That's a surprise. He did score 13 times, though. Remember when it looked like Billy Mauchow was, like, kind of good? And then, well, he kind of wasn't. Shout out KJ Hayes, though. 82 catches, 1,000 yards, and 1 touchdown. Man, this guy's allergic to the end zone. Hop on YouTube, and a pleasant surprise, it's another stream day. Back-to-back, just as we totally planned on. Wink, wink. Alpo had 5 picks? My lord. What a year. A 36-5 touchdown to interception ratio as a rookie is wild. Chase Young, kids. 12 sacks for Chase Young. Julio Jones syndrome. He's good, but the end zone. Keep me out of there. Imagine someone telling you... I cannot speak. Imagine telling someone at the beginning of the year, or imagine someone telling you that Raphael Coleman and Lamar Duckett are going to combine for like 2,700 yards. And the Falcons are going to get the number 1 pick. Wild. They really got the the Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson connection in the NFL just to win 3 games. That's crazy. Ryan Jensen, no sacks allowed. Shout out, Dragons legend. Get ready to learn the ATLs like Sean Murray. They did trade Chase Young, so slide him right in. Eagles fan Jr. had a decent year. He was fairly good. Or Carmelo Mendez. They have Oscar Oglesby, though. If Mendez is like a 90, then yeah, sign me up. But Oscar did run for 1,000. Greg Dortz to George, shout out. Mike Gesicki had over 1,000 as well, and Debo was close too. I guess being more of a focal point of his offense certainly helped him out. Big year for Crosby and Highsmith. The Debo revenge game. That's a fun storyline for our wild card matchup. Here's Mr. Butt Cannon. Hold on. Let's compare something real quick. 5.3. 0. 4.8. 2. But congrats on the extra 15 rushing yards. More yards is unserious when it was by 15. With 25 more carries. So if let's say Josh Jacobs had 25 carries for 20 yards. That's not good. Then in that case, he would have more yards than Nick Chubb. His yards per carry would probably still be higher as well. I don't know, just food for thought. Like, is Sasquatch Nuts better than Justin Jefferson? Actually, maybe. Josh Allen, wow. He was bad last year, too. Completely flipped the script. Sounds like how is that a skill issue? Josh Jacobs was significantly more efficient. Demand the ball. Josh Jacobs is a team player. His team is in the playoffs as the 4 seed. Nick Chubb is on the Cancun couch. Jackson Becker had a good year, too. These receivers are insane. There might be like 20 guys in the class who had at least 800 yards. Okay, maybe not 20, but at least a dozen. Norris Doris, 38, 25, 13, 66%, and 291 yards on the ground. Because his defense can't stop a parked car. The same defense that allowed 14 points against Patrick Mahomes and lost. Interesting. They didn't even run the ball that often, Cleveland. Low-key got the best pass rushing duo. I don't even know if it's like low-key. I feel like it's kind of obvious. I would argue so far, at least from the teams we've seen, we're second. But we're not first. Aaron Donald and Daniil Hunter are nasty. Yeah, we had all these great receivers. The Rams had 2 of them. Neither of them cracked 800. And it's not for a lack of talent. Amobi Smith and Tyrell Sparks are filthy. They probably would have gotten 1,000 with Lamar. Or if not, they at least would have gotten 800. I would hope. SG, you know what to do. You know what to do. Good year for Likely. Almost 1,000 yards himself. Okay, I guess this is up there for pass rushing duos. Parsons and Vea almost had 30 sacks. Poor Jordan Addison. He was right there. Known pass rusher, Vita Vea. I mean, hey, 12 sacks is 12 sacks. Armando Alexander and Will Anderson each with 10. And Isaiah Simmons leads the league in interceptions with 7. Warren Flowers. Interesting numbers. Interesting. Almost as interesting as this. He really is Jameis Winston, but with Jaden Daniels' skill set. Denario Hopkins also almost had 1,000. There's another one. Along with, obviously, Jaleel Jefferson, who had like 1,200. Very balanced pass rush. 5 guys with at least 6.5. But they only had 6 interceptions. The Titans only had 2 guys with picks. Shout out Kendrick Bourne. Man, this defense sucks. Holy cow. All right, let's see the awards. We'll start with Week 18, Players of the Week. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Jamal Adams, and Myles Garrett. And now for the awards. They have given Joe Burrow the MVP. You'll never believe who the Voyager's CB1 is. Ow, my hip! Ow! Damn, they had Hurts all the way falling to 5? After all that? Wow. How is the Jets there? They won 8 games. The glazing is crazy. Sean Tucker, AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Love to see it. I don't know how this is the case, but okay. You go off, EA. Defensive Player of the Year is Myles Garrett. Offense Rookie of the Year, they're going to go with Jaleel Jefferson. It looks like pretty much all the really good receivers were in the NFC. How's Niles Worthy in 6th? Bill Gundy had almost 1,000 yards. Stop hating. You know my argument is correct. My logic makes sense. I don't know how EA disagrees. At least I have this. It's not. You're using more yards as an argument when Josh Allen got the ball 25 less times and had 20 less yards. That's not an argument. I'm sorry. The only stat that they're far away in is rushing touchdowns. And rushing touchdowns has been a Mickey Mouse stat since the start of time. Jamal Williams, hey, Tre'Davious White, yay. Trey White Goalie Academy, stand up. Jamal Williams led the NFL in rushing touchdowns 2 years ago, was replaced by David Montgomery, who ended up being a significant upgrade. I feel like that's pretty telling. Hey, speaking of, Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC. Because he's ironically a touchdown merchant here. Rushing yards is important for running backs. Would you rather a running back with 1,500 yards on 300 carries or a running back with 1,480 yards but on 25 less carries? I know what I would rather. Because if you give him another 15 carries, or no, it was 25 carries. If you give him another 25 carries, he's probably going to run for about 100 yards. At worst. So, yeah. The math ain't mathin', buddy. Look at all the rookies here. First, second, 8th, 9th, 10th. That's 5. That's wild. Thick Chungus! Alright, so that should just about wrap things up. Actually, no, hold on. One more thing. I forgot. Injuries. Minka ended up tearing his labrum. Ravens with nothing. Hogs with nothing. Dildos with nothing. Bears with nothing. Are we just not going to have any playoff injuries? No, Austin Eckler's out for 2 weeks. Who do they have at running back? Not counting Lamar Jackson. Caps, nothing. Chargers, nothing. Condoms will be without Kyler Gordon for the wild card. Dallas will be without Najee Harris for 2 weeks. Eagles, nothing. Niners, a lot. Most notably Cameron Hayward and Grover Stewart, who are going to be out for a while. Hayward's going to be out for the entire playoffs. Giants, nothing. Huskies, nothing. Panthers, nothing. So it really is may the best man win. Who is Cleveland's running back, though? Don't they have Zach Moss? I think it's him. They do have Zach Moss, but they also have Rachaad White. Okay, interesting. So they'll have what? Eckler back for the conference championship? If they get there? Yeah. Alright, so that'll do it. Next stream will be the wild card round. We're probably going to watch 3 and simcast the rest. Dear God, my Vietnam flashbacks are coming back. We're also probably going to have the awards ballot up tonight. Nick and Nader's going to be doing that again. So, I guess it depends on when he's finished. But, yeah, hope everyone enjoyed, and we'll be back soon